Hey guys, Jay here. Happy Saturday evening. What a rough day. If anything could go wrong, it did. But welcome home, Melody, you whiner. But anyway, I went out back this morning, got that back deck all cleaned up, and I had the pressure washer out there. Hooked the hose to it, turned the hose on, and hear the hose blow. So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I had the option unhooking the hose from the front and bringing it back around. I figured the hell with that, it's too much. Plus I had to bring it back around. It's them real heavy hoses, them real heavy rubber hoses. But that's all you can use for pressure washers because of the pressure that they take. Little hose won't give it enough water. Just a regular garden hose. So I run down to Lowe's. They only had one down there. It was $79.95. I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me for a freaking hose. But it was 100 foot long. But brought it home, hooked it up. Well, here I couldn't get the damn nozzle into the gun. I was like, what the hell is going on today? I was already miserable because I was getting dizzy again. And it was pissing me off. The cats were pissing me off. Every time you open the door, there's a cat standing there just waiting to jump in front of you. So I had to dodge them all day. And they got their little cat door there. If they wanted to come in and out, they'd go through that. But no, they see me outside, so they wait for me in front of the door to come open the big door to let them in and out. Which started getting on my nerves, so I threw them all in the pool with a rock tied to them and drowned them. And tomorrow I'm making Chinese, Bella. But I got done with everything, and I bought that little fridge for the back deck. When I talk about deck, it's where the pool's at. So I figure I'm going to clean that out, and then I got that cleaner. I'll just hit that cleaner and then just hit it with the pressure washer on the inside and clean it all out. Why, look, there's a block of ice up in that little freezer top. About 6 inches thick. So I was like, oh, wow, here we go. Yeah, lightning's been detected on our location. What else is new? That's every day of the week anymore. But anyway, I finally got everything put together, and I figured, you know what? I'm going to let that ice melt, and I'm just calling it a day. So I walked down to get the mail, and here that neighbor lady, the one with the dogs, walked over, and she was talking to me. Asked me how I was feeling. I said, pretty good. I said, I'm running out of my meds now. I'm starting to get lightheaded a little bit. Well, here she's a nurse, so I didn't know that. She said, well, what kind of meds are you on? I said, I got the whole bag in there. You want to look at them? She said, sure. She said, we don't mind. So she looked and she said, you're out of the small potassiums. I said, yeah. And she said, you got 3 bottles of the big ones in here. And I said, yeah. And she said, you're still taking Lasix? So I said, yeah. She said, well, that's why you're getting dizzy. If you're not taking potassium to counter the Lasix, it will make you dizzy. She said, because you're peeing out everything, and you need to put potassium in your body to balance that out. So, Bella, you're right. I said, eat a damn banana. Of course, I don't like bananas, and I don't have any here anyway. But, Anyway, I told her, I said, well, what about these big pills, the horse pills? And she said, well, he had you taking 2 of these a day. He said, that's a lot. So he said, she said, that's like 25. She said, it's like 50 milligram a day. The other doctor knocked you down to 20. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, just take one of the biggest. She said, when do you see a doctor? You know, I said, Monday, he's coming up. She said, well, tell him you want the ones that are empty refilled. And she said, that as far as she said, if you call them horse pills, she said, she said, it's 5 milligram over. She said, but just take one of them a day and that'll get you through. So I took one and dizziness went away. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't know anything. Like I said, if I was a doctor, I'd be living on a beachfront property somewhere. And these doctors nowadays, all they want to see is your damn insurance check. Unless you're illegal. But, no, I got that all done. I guess Melody went to the hospital today because that heat got to her and her power was out for that long. But I guess she's back home now, so I called her a whiner. I don't know. And now, like I said, I got everything ready to go in the morning. All I gotta do is spray that back deck off. I'm done with that. And by the time I get everything pulled back through the house, I'm gonna have to mop the floors again. Because I made a mess in there today, chomping back and forth, and then I mopped them up this evening. But, no, not a fun day. Night, that was over 100 degrees again. And as soon as I got back from Lowe's, I tried to hurry up and get down and get back. And as soon as I did, all you heard was thunder. And you seen flashes from the lightning. I'm like, screw this. So I went in the house and watched YouTube, them cop shows on there. But I see old Chris is at the beach now. Then he left and went to another beach. For not having a job, this guy sure gets a hell of a lot of vacation time. Said he's down towards the Carolinas somewhere, which is where Holly lives. North Carolina. So, I don't know. People like that make you sick. Never work a day in their lives and they're hanging out at the beach. Most people can't afford to go there. Plus somebody give him a big panel van, which fits him just perfectly. All he needs is the ice cream speaker on the top to coax the little kids in. But, no, but like I said, I got everything ready to go tomorrow. But I'm glad to know that's all there was. Because I started getting scared again. I'm thinking, I don't want to go back to the hospital, but I don't know what the hell's going on, but that's what was happening. In other words, I was peeing my brain out and wasn't replenishing anything. That's what the potassium pills are for. So now I took one of them. It's only 25 milligram. I was taking 20 a day. They did come up with a new solution. They made them smaller. But I would take one in the morning, one in the evening. They were 10 milligram each. So now I'm just taking one of them big ones a day. But like I said, that's what the doctor, the one that cut me off, said that he was over medicating me. The doctor from Orlando. So that's he knocked down the dosages on everything. But that's what she told me. Just tell him you want them filled, the empty ones, and that's it. But I don't know. Nice of them to send him back up here, but like I said, if he's just going to come up here and fill me with garbage prescriptions again, it's just a wasted trip. So, but other than that, no. It just seemed like if anything go wrong, it went wrong today. Like I said, I was already, every time I stood up, I was getting dizzy, and that was making me mad. And then walking out tripping over them damn cats all day, that was making me mad. Then I go out to open the gate up from the pool, because you have to keep them locked, because if a kid gets back and drowns, then you're responsible. But yeah, I went to put the key in it. Here the lock's rusted shut. So I had to spray it with WD-40. Finally got it opened. And took everything out and threw it on my trailer. The stuff I can go over to the dump, I'm going to take off the trailer and throw in the bed of the truck. And like the yard debris and stuff that I picked up, I'm just going to leave it on the trailer. And hopefully it blows over into the neighbor's yard. I'm kidding. She asked me what nationality I was. I said, what nationality? She said, yeah. She said, what nationality? I said, German and Italian. I said, more Italian than anything. And she said, I kind of figured. She said, because you got dark quick. Which I did. Me and my dad both tan real quick. But she said, you're all tanned up, all slimmed up. She said, now you can go out looking for a woman. I said, you got a better chance of seeing God. I said, been there, done that 2 times a month, first and last. So, Jay's content the way he is. But, oh, that's one thing I got, 5 pounds of Twizzlers in the mail today. I talked to my sister before she left. I told her how expensive they were everywhere you went. Shit, I went down here to this little convenience store, Cumberland, just for 1 pack with 1 row in them. It was $5.99. I think you people out of your head. See, I get a box left on the porch today. Hey, it's 5 pounds of Twizzlers. And there was a note in there for my sister. It said, enjoy, little brother. You shouldn't have to buy any for a while. I like Twizzlers for some reason. I just sit here and munch on them. There's no fat in them or anything. But I don't know. And somebody was on the channel that said, please eat. I told her I'd try. Like I said, I got a bunch of that vegetarian vegetable soup. I try to eat some of it, but like I said, by the time I get in here, I was so damn hot and stuff. The last thing I want to do is eat hot food. I suck down 3-gallon of water by the time I get in here. But I keep my cooler with bottled water in it and Gatorade and stuff. So that whenever I want something to drink, just walk in and grab it out of the cooler, cover it over with ice in the morning. That way it's nice and cold when I'm ready to get started. But I got to drink Gatorade today, like 2 bottles of water. Like I said, I run down to Lowe's. That place was a hellhole today. It reminded me of Walmart. You go in there, people everywhere. But they had a 50-foot hose advertised on there, but they were all out of them. And I'm thinking, I ain't waiting. I want to get done. Because she said they wouldn't be in till sometime next week. So I figured the hell with that. So I just went ahead and got the other one. The 50-footer was only like $50. The 100-footer was like $80. So I don't know. Like I said, say a prayer for me. I get up tomorrow and everything goes easy. And I can wait and knock on wood. See, I got my table sitting right there, so I'll knock on wood. But I got a mess in here from tromping back and forth, so I just put a new mop head on I got one of them big industrial mops. And I put a new mop head on it today, so that way when I'm ready to clean the house back up, I'll just run the sweeper over everything real good and mop it all up real good. Other than that, yeah, Jay's therapy session didn't work out too great, Bella. You might have been better off that you didn't show up for this one. I was so damn mad in the middle of the day I was making up cuss words. I don't know. Alright guys, I want to get going. I'm going to hit the sack early. Anyway, love you all. God bless. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye-bye.